Hi guys, welcome back to Harping on the Past, a Theater Kid podcast. Jeez,
I was going to see if you were going to take the
hanging.
whole intro. A Theater Kid podcast where we talk about theater, past, present, and probably the future.
Jacob, why did you just bully me?
I
Why did you just do that to me?
just thought it would be funny. Gotta mix it up a little bit.
When you forget your lines on stage.
What do we say in improv, Sheridan?
Yes, and.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We have another guest.
We're being rude.
It's okay.
We have a guest here on the couch today.
Oh my gosh, our first reoccurring.
I was just gonna say that.
We have Tori back with us today.
We're back, guys.
Welcome
Oh
back.
my freaking goodness.
Reoccurring guest.
Amen.
Let the record show.
Let the record show, Your Honor.
This is
We
really
like her a
loud.
lot.
This is so loud in my ears.
Oh,
That's
then
what you guys.
then pull it down.
Ooh,
Is that better?
a little bit?
Do you want to?
I don't know how to do that. That's fine.
It's okay.
Let me look at it.
Yeah, we can adjust.
just pull it down
Guys,
a little.
first and
That's
foremost,
it.
before we dive into
Okay.
all of the stuff on this podcast, first of all, thanks for listening twice in 1 week,
Oh my
if
gosh,
you
thank
guys
you so much.
have. Second of all, apologies for the technical difficulties. Upon listening to the final cut, I said, that's a mistake.
Whoops.
There's an error. There was some double audio going at some...
It was only for
Point?
like 10 seconds. It's fine.
It was short, but
Everything's okay.
In the last episode,
in the last episode, yeah.
I must not have gotten there yet.
It was in the
you passed
very
it.
beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but like
I was watching and I
It's
was
there.
like,
As a fellow listener, I don't think it was very noticeable.
It's-
I
Really?
didn't notice anything.
it's not too bad because honestly, what covers it is like we know Sheridan's fumbling with her
we know
computer,
Sheridan sucked, so
uh,
it's okay.
and so like it could have and in that moment anyway. So we had some technical problems last week, but what else is new?
What
know?
else is new?
Anyway,
Not
Tori,
much.
thank you so much for coming back to Harping on the Past.
It's great to be back on the couch.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, thank you for coming back to the
So-
couch, you know?
What you been up to?
I auditioned for a show.
That's
Got broken up with.
Yeah, we did get broken up with.
Oh no.
She got broken up with from the show.
Yeah.
Oh
Her
yes.
relationship is very healthy.
Very healthy, thriving.
I
That's
did
good.
get broken
Yeah, we both got broken up with on the show.
It's
in
Fine.
two ways. I did, so it's okay.
choice.
She's talking about her real life
I'm
relationship.
talking about my love life. It's okay. I'm fine.
Oh.
Anyways, but yeah, that was the weirdest show.
Yeah, it was really weird. It
But
was
we
fun,
did-
though.
But we did get to do a callback together
That was a lot of
here in
fun.
my studio. That
Oh,
was a
yeah.
car.
That was
Sorry.
really loud. Yeah, callbacks were. It was fun and lots of interesting songs and just characters and.
And
weird-
Tori did it in one take, and it took me the whole night.
Yeah, we both didn't get cast though.
So-
So got us.
It's fine.
It's fine. It was fun.
Jacob has been in rehearsals.
I've been in rehearsals.
How's that?
It's fun. Sorry, I'm back to Tori really quick. You were in our cabaret unexpectedly
That's
with us.
right. I forgot about that.
Huh?
I didn't do very well.
Not the most
but
recent one that we did.
Oh, I was like,
the one
I don't
before
remember
the
Tori being
recent
there.
one that I posted,
The
but
original musicals.
yes, the
right?
original musicals, which you sang a song that was not from an original musical, which I
It's shaking.
had a conversation with Eliza about.
Did you
Sorry,
really?
Kara. Yeah, I did, and she
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
because she listens, and she was like, "Thanks for not saying anything in the night," and I was, "You're welcome."
I love
But yeah,
Eliza.
I do too. So yeah, that was fun. Oh,
Me too.
oh, secrets.
Are you doing the next
I am not doing the next
one?
one.
Did you say no?
I was just looking at the schedule and everything, and I just feel like, I've been running around. As Sheridan said, I've been in rehearsals
My
for
goodness, he's a busy
Ferryman,
boy.
and it's been so much fun, and I'm loving it. But like, okay, I have rehearsals, and then I have work, sometimes 9 to 5, and I'm going straight down to Carlsbad, which is like an hour drive.
It's a lot.
And then
Yeah.
I have the podcast because I want to make time for that. And then I'm helping out with the middle school production right
That's a
now.
lot.
And
Speaking of,
yeah,
I'm helping with 3 productions.
see, yeah, there's just
And I'm not even nearly as busy as Jacob. But you said the middle school production.
Yeah.
And I've been like, ooh, theatrical abundance. I want it. 3 productions.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my mind. All with kids.
That's a lot.
There's just a lot going on, so that's why I'm not doing the next cabaret.
That's okay.
And also, to be quite frankly honest, I don't know any jukebox. Like, I know Mamma Mia,
Yeah.
but that's about it. I don't know enough songs to confidently go into it and be like, yeah, I can do this.
I love jukebox musicals.
But I will go.
I dig them. I can't wait. Can we sing one together?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to go
Let's
and
do
see it.
this.
Yeah. So I will go and support you guys, though, because I do want to go and see it.
Oh my gosh, please do.
I'm excited. I just told my boss that I have to leave early on January 8th. She's like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Make sure you write that down, because don't you hate when, like, a boss, you're like, oh, this day, and they're like, yes, I'm agreeing to this, yes. And then the week before, they're like, I never said that.
Well,
Don't you hate that?
did you put in a request?
Yeah.
Well,
Yucky.
I can't get it then.
Ooh, it's not in the
I know
computer.
that the day before, I think the 7th, you know the wedding I'm going to be in?
Yeah.
We're going to stuff their invitations and do like an invitation party before they send them out. I'm so excited.
You're going to be in a wedding?
I am in a wedding. I'm in my childhood best friend's wedding.
Wow.
In June. I just got my dress.
The
That's
blue
exciting.
One, right?
Yeah. It's okay. I think I'll be fine.
Sheridan didn't like her dress.
I like
I
the
thought it
dress.
looked great
It
on
looks
her.
good on me. There's just something about it that I'm like, I don't love it. But I think it's just like, as I was telling my neighbor, she came over and looked at it, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing.
Right.
So, and it looks wonderful on me.
Pretty.
It like fits me perfectly. She was like, maybe it's the color.
It might be the
And I was
color.
like, I think it might be. But she said when it's sunny outside to wear it and go outside because it's going to be an outside wedding.
that's a
And
good
that might help
idea.
me.
Right.
Yeah. I might order another one just to see like what I like.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'm
exciting.
excited. I'm so excited. It's
love
going to be the
weddings.
golf course. I just love, really, to be honest.
We love. And you know what else, like, that we love? We
Our
love
first sponsor.
our first. That's cool. You could do it. Our first sponsor. No, I mean, God,
do
I
we love?
freaking wish one day. We love when we're just getting fired or not getting cast in a show.
I love getting fired. It's really my favorite pastime. Do you like it?
I love it.
Me too.
Touching a blanket.
Who's going first? Jacob?
I'm going first.
Yep.
Sure.
Oh, this is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Do you not want to go first?
No, I'm fine. Did I have a reason fully formed yet? I had one
We can go
that
first.
I was thinking about, and I was like, I can't do that because that's way too mean. So I'm not gonna do that one.
Do you need more time to think?
No,
over.
it's okay. I have one. I'm getting fired, guys, because I can't do an accent.
Yes, you can. I don't want
Hold
to
on,
hear
wait.
more slander
No.
about you again.
Let me go on and
Accents are
let me
so
just
good.
elaborate what I mean by this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is from a recent rehearsal that I just had from the Ferryman.
Mm-hmm.
And so the show is set in Ireland. So
Ireland.
everyone has an
pretty good.
Irish accent, a Northern Irish accent, which is very different than
Right.
the Southern Irish, which I didn't even know. But so I got to rehearsal incredibly early because I was
yeah.
off from work, and I was like, I'm not gonna just, like sometimes you're like, I don't want to sit around.
Yeah.
So I just got in my car and I went. And I got there, I'm not even kidding you, like hours before I
Oh my
was
God.
even supposed to like
Could not
show
be.
up. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to just sit there, take some time for me, read a book, like just be in the space, and observe. And one of their actors wasn't there that night. So they were like, Jacob, you want to go on for him? And I was like, yeah, sure.
No.
And then I forgot. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know any of his stuff. And they're like, that's fine. Like, take your script. And then they were like, do you know his blocking? And I went, no, why would I know
Why
his
would I know
blocking?
that?
Like,
Yeah.
I haven't been here
Yeah.
for his rehearsals. So his blocking was really easy. But this character is English. He's the one character in the show that has an English accent, which you would think,
You
oh,
can do that.
perfect. That's so easy. Let
they
me
rip
tell
you
you.
to shreds?
No, let me tell you. When you're in a show hearing nothing but Irish, that's all you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
So I'm on stage, and like the first time I was really picturing, I was like, okay, Harry Potter, Newt Scamander,
Right.
things that I know. And the first time I was okay. The second time I was not as focused. I was doing the lines. I was like, it'd be like, she was down by the river. So like, she was down by the river. I was like, she was down by the river. Things like that. Like, I kept like,
She was down by the river. forever.
Like, I kept noticing
Just sings
I
it.
was flooding into like Irish, and I was like,
I'm so sorry.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You make me look like a tit.
I was. You make me look like a tit.
For all the Love Island
Oh my god.
viewers.
Sit back down. I'm sat.
So
Simply
that's
my
why
favorite show.
that's why I'm getting fired. I'm not really getting fired. They were actually so sweet. They were like, "Thank you so much for filling in. It was so much fun," and it was fun.
They're
But
like,
like,
we won't need to
Sounds
see
bizarre.
anymore.
they're like, we don't need to see you in this part ever again.
Maybe don't come early again.
But-
Imagine if they said that.
Maybe next time just be late. Please.
No, it was honestly, it was so much fun. But that's my reason. I can't. I mean, normally, yes, I can do an
Yeah, you're
accent.
good.
I can learn an accent, I should say. But in that case, I was like, don't ask me to do English when it's an Irish play,
But
because
also, don't ask me to fill in for a role when
no, but like it was fun. I had a good time. Like, actors, they're like, Jake, will you do this? And I said, yes, and
Of course.
of course,
Of course I will.
You need me to understudy the role permanently? Sure,
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that from something? Sorry.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I was talking about this at work the other day, and someone asked me something. I went, okay, I'll do it. And I was like, what is that from? And someone went, The Simpsons. I said, no, I think it was a Vine or like a
I'll sing with her.
a TikTok. I'll sing with her. Oh my god. Anyways, Tori,
So-
why are you getting fired or not cast? Sorry.
I'm not getting cast because I did an audition. And I had too much anxiety to audition for the show.
Just straight up right at the source.
You said, because
Didn't
simply,
do it.
I won't be there. Oh my gosh.
The truth, I get so much anxiety. Just auditioning, I'm great at callbacks, but I will
Yeah,
never
she is.
forget. I was in high school, and
Me
they were
too.
doing a sorry.
Sheridan, this is why you're not getting cast, because you keep interrupting people.
Is it just bully Sheridan Day? Damn.
No, it's just-
I'm never speaking again. Go ahead, Tori.
Sheridan just loves to speak.
Oh, my breath.
It's just, no, it's okay. Anyway,
When
continue.
I was in high school, it was my sophomore or freshman. They did a production of Beauty and the Beast, and I remember like walking out of school and like looking to my left and seeing the theater, and it was like Beauty and the Beast auditions, and it was that day, and there's people like lined up out of the theater, and I was like, that looks like fun. I could never do anything like that. Walked out.
Just
Never
kept
auditioned.
walking.
And then I went and saw the show, and it was great, lovely. I loved it, but it gives me so much anxiety, like auditioning. But once I'm like called back and I'm on the stage and I have the role, I'm great. I'm fine. But that
Right.
initial like audition, they just feel like make me feel so naked.
It's intimidating,
It's so scary.
especially because Sheridan and I have done several professional auditions, especially there when everyone knows each other. And you feel like a loser because they're like, I haven't seen you since The Cruise or something like that. And like
Yeah.
they like name drop all these big productions that they've done. Yeah, there have been times when I'm like, I'm not auditioning for that because I'm not gonna embarrass myself. So yeah, I get that.
Very scary. So that's why I'm not getting cast, because I simply
You just didn't show up
was
to
not
the
there
audition.
in the first place.
I won't go. I
Not
won't do
going.
it. I'm not going. I won't be there. No, ma'am.
Not me. No.
Not me. Nope.
Physically, I'm not going to audition.
Physically, my body will not be there. Oh.
Whoa. Anyway, Sheridan, why are you getting fired or not cast?
Listen, I was thinking about it. I just thought of a better one right now, but I'm just going to go with what I originally planned. And I said that I don't have enough patience for people who don't care as much as me in a show. Like, I hate the people that just, like, half-ass it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
And I
yeah.
just, like, maybe this is a double-edged sword. Because sometimes I can be lazy. It's fine.
I think we
But if someone
are.
else is lazy, I'm like, I don't have time for that. But, like, when I am, I'm like, it's fine. Like, that's so messed up of me. But I really hate the people that, like, constantly late. The people who, like, constantly don't know their lines. At the same scenes over and over that, like, they just don't care to get better at it. I'm like, come on. Like, we're all
understandable,
a team. What's happening?
Because your laziness compared to, or your quote unquote laziness compared to other people's laziness is different, because you're typically a hard worker, you're always on time, You typically know your lines very, very quickly. You know, like, your dances and your work is done.
Yeah.
But with other people, their laziness is just laziness.
And not
like,
to,
your
yeah.
laziness is like, I'm going to take an off day because you're constantly doing
Yeah.
150%, whether these people are doing, like, 50%. So
Yeah.
their laziness is like a 30. Yours is like still 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been working on my patience level lately.
Because
And it just, you know.
you don't let it show. Like,
I feel like sometimes I do. I feel like sometimes I'll crack and I'll be like,
but I mean, we as people all have those days, but like, never in laziness, I don't think for you. Like, if you're feeling like quote unquote lazy in a production, like I'm pretty sure all of us have,
yes.
you don't show it. You know, like you still go into rehearsal with that good attitude and like you're ready to learn, do your job, whatever the director tells you to. And, you know, that's so I think you have every right to say what you said, because some people, just don't take it that next step further, you know, like at least pretend to care.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I think maybe it also comes from, like, I've been doing theater my whole life. So I've seen, like, the wide range. So it's like, how are you going to sit here and be lazy with something that, like, we genuinely care about? You know?
Yeah.
Or, like, if you don't care as much, like, then give up your spot for someone who does. Like, there's so many people who care so much about what people do on stage. It's like, if you don't have time to commit to it, then don't do it. Like, that's fine. That's you. You go be you over there. Don't do it
Yeah.
in a room full of people that want to be here.
Exactly.
You know? That seems like really negative, but like,
No, it's not
just
though.
kind
It's
of
the truth, because as like to our core theater people we are, when people come into the space and don't enter it with as much love and attention and care as we have naturally, I guess, it's like a slap in the face.
it is kind of.
Because it's like they're wasting their time. They're wasting their time, they're wasting our time, they're wasting the director's time.
Yeah, it's like, why do it? Like,
why
if
are
you
you
don't want to
here?
be there,
Like, what's
don't
the
be
point?
there. We're more than happy to have someone who wants to be here. Like, if you don't want to be here, I'm so happy to watch you be you over there.
This is a subtweet.
To who?
I don't know.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh.
I wish it was.
Right?
You guys, I really wish that it was. I would name drop. Well, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably do like a fun name. But no, it's not towards anyone. Like, I genuinely, if I think about it right now, like, I couldn't think of like one person that sticks out.
I can.
I was like, I
Really?
definitely can. But again,
I was spending the rest of the episode trying to wonder who this is.
I'm like, we're not gonna name drop. But yeah,
Enough said.
enough said. But that's a good reason.
Thanks. Also, I know sometimes we talk about like Broadway things or like the world of
Yes,
theater, dance, music, all the things. We have some sad news.
we do. Yeah.
Why are you smiling, Tori?
Because I thought about the two pieces of news we have, and I thought that you were referring
Oh no, to the
to
first one, the other one.
and it
I
was
just figured we
maybe
get the
Giga.
sad one
Yeah.
out of the way, and then we can.
I feel like we always deliver sad news on this podcast. It's really
I don't.
unfortunate. Well, I mean, not
We've
always.
only talked about.
We've had a few sad
Have we?
deaths. Yeah.
Ooh, Angela Lansbury,
Angela Lansbury.
Rupert Grint. No, that's not his name. Sorry.
Whoa. Yes.
What's his name?
Guys, Rupert Grint is not dead.
He's not dead. Ron Weasley is still alive.
Alive and well.
We
What's Hagrid's name?
Robbie Coltrane. Yes.
RC.
Then, yeah,
RG. Same.
Robbie Coltrane. And we talked about Colorado Springs.
Oh yeah. Well, here's one more. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This broke my heart this morning. I
know,
woke
this
up and
was
saw
really
this.
sad.
Sorry, camera, but we keep shaking it.
Sorry.
It's
If
it's
you-
fine.
If you guys used to watch So You Think You Can Dance, yo, I was obsessed with So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah.
And my favorite couple of all time that was on there, the favorite like two, was Carrington and Twitch. And I found out this morning that Twitch passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so devastating.
It really is.
Right before the
Especially-
holidays?
Yeah.
Oh,
And especially
the way.
Yeah, the way it happened. I don't want to go into detail.
Right.
Right.
Look it up if you have the moment.
If you need help,
driving,
please reach out.
seriously
Call a hotline.
Especially around this time, if
Yeah.
you're struggling, it's always much harder to get through the holidays.
Yeah.
You know, that seasonal depression can hit, and people are busy with Christmas shopping and stuff. So if you need help, reach out, email the podcast, like talk.
Oh my gosh,
just-
yeah. Let us
seriously,
know.
though, like,
We
talk
will.
to
I'll be here
yes,
for anyone.
Talk to anyone. We are not therapists, but we
No.
are great listeners. And we would like to help and provide you resources that are going to help you.
Right.
I'll try to put some stuff in the
Yeah.
description
That's a good idea.
below in the video and in the podcast. We'll find a couple, because I know we have a couple sources from previous shows that we've done before that we could
Oh, yeah,
link up. So
But rest in peace to
R.I.P.
Twitch and his family.
Yes.
Seriously, like it really is devastating to not only the whole world but like the dance community. I know it's really
And the-
saddened.
And the Ellen show, he
And the
was her
Ellen
DJ.
show.
yes.
Super sad.
Very sad.
Anywho, we have another thing of
Some
news.
more
We have some
Broadway
more,
news.
More Broadway
news.
news. You guys, Sweeney Todd's coming back to Broadway. I could do without it.
Yeah.
I, I'm gonna be real honest. I ain't never even seen the movie.
Me either.
I know.
I have seen one production of it.
How was it?
It was in high school.
Oh,
At
I heard it was good though.
It was.
the high school production. you're
it
talking about.
was really good,
Okay.
and the like things I've heard from it are fine. Like the "I Feel You, Joanna." Like I like that song.
Music's cute. It's a
Music's
moment.
cute, but I think it's Sondheim.
I think so too.
Is it? I don't know.
It is.
I just
Sondheim,
like
yeah.
some of those shows. I just can't sit through. But I know a lot of people are really excited about it,
Yeah.
and some people got announced that are going to be in it.
Yeah.
One I'm excited about, Gaten Matarazzo.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yes,
I'm
He's
he's,
a
so
talented
proud
little
of him.
bean.
I know he's playing Tobias.
Wow.
The one who goes, "Nothing's gonna harm you," right? Not
You're
behind
asking me,
the
and like I
Wait,
said, I
that
had never
might be
even
the
seen the
one-
movie. Like,
Wait. That might be the wrong
Yeah.
show.
wait, like, so is Gaten gonna be in Sweeney
Oh no,
Todd?
yes,
Okay.
but he's playing Tobias. I'm saying the song
Oh,
might
okay.
be from a different show. I could be
Sorry.
wrong.
I don't know it at all.
Do you guys know who Ruthie Ann Miles is?
Nope.
Okay, she's gonna be the standby for the beggar.
I think I've heard of her, but again, this is what I mean. A couple episodes ago, I was like, I don't know enough
Sure
theater.
it is.
Sorry.
Me too.
And our dear friend, just kidding, he's not our friend. And Jordan Fisher's gonna be in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How are we feeling on that?
Jordan Fisher gives me the ick.
and that's okay.
That's okay.
I'm not the biggest fan.
I,
He has a good voice.
He's so talented.
He is
Listen, Turning Red, whatever.
wonderful.
Four Town, right?
Fort
Poor
Town.
Town,
But they don't turn my tummy. So good.
so good.
So good.
Yes, he has a
undeniable.
great
He's
voice.
got a great voice. But if he just somehow was not famous and like got hired at my place of work, I'd be like, ick, ick, and that's it.
Do you want to know what I think
What
put
I
a
will
bad
say.
taste in my mouth recently?
Please share.
Can I talk about it? Is that
Yeah.
is I don't know what was going on in his personal life. I don't know. But when he was playing Evan Hansen on Broadway, he was out so many shows.
Right.
Which, like, cool, like his standby got to go on. That's
Right.
wonderful. But, like, if you're going to sign up for only doing, like, 3 months, why are you going to be out half of it?
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. My hand. Sorry. But I don't know. That just kind of bothered me. I saw him on the So You Think... Not So You Think... On Dancing with the Stars
yeah,
tour. I almost met him. He walked the other way. I said,
Okay.
my.
And that has what's the word? Like that affects how I feel about him too. Because I
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
what I mean?
I was so excited to meet him. I
really
like waited out there and I was like, Jordan! He went... I went the other way.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's fine.
Because I mean, like, we don't know him at
Right.
all, but I will say that just based on like interviews that we've seen of him, your experience,
Right.
you know, his like your in-person encounter with him, and yeah, just like his track record of certain things, like he comes off as someone that I don't know if like I'd want to meet, because I don't know, he seems like the kind of person who like knows he's talented.
And he is.
And like he is incredibly talented.
Yeah.
But like it's like he's not humble about it, or doesn't know how to be. I don't know. Like I've never met him. He could be the nicest person in the world, but based on like the interviews and things like that, he does not come off as a nice person to me.
Yeah.
I agree.
And like,
agree.
I would love to be wrong. I don't want to assume
too.
that about people, but just several times I'm like, I feel like you're kind of like full of yourself, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of people are in show business, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But there's a lot of people that aren't.
yes,
That-
exactly. I feel like
that is
there's,
true.
I
That
feel
is
like there's
very
more
true.
people who are not full of themselves rather than people who are.
I would
Like
agree.
Ben Platt,
Oh,
the nicest person.
don't get me started.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Exactly.
Miranda.
I know Mario met him. I was like, how is he? He's like, he's great. He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
That's literally how it was when I met Ben. When I
Just
told
a
him,
guy.
I was like, "You smell fantastic," and he was like, "Oh my god, thank you. I had to put on deodorant after the show." Like, just a human.
Yeah, just
Another.
a human.
Oh my god, he just got engaged.
He
Good
did.
for
See, there's some
To Noah
positive Broadway
Galvin.
news. The two Evans are getting married.
Two Evans. I was like, I recognize that name.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cute.
they're cute. They're
That's
so
cute.
cute. I'm excited for them.
Exciting.
So, long story short, we are not going to be seeing Sweeney Todd.
No, and that
I'll
goes
see it.
that
I'll go.
I'll sing with her. That goes with. I mean, the cast. Who cares?
Who
Like,
cares? Truly.
it could have been anyone, and I still probably wouldn't go. Like, I'm just not a fan of Sweeney. No,
Yeah.
but Jordan's gonna be singing "I Feel You, Joanna"
And it's gonna be
every night. It's gonna be
beautiful.
gorgeous.
It's gonna be great.
But that's who
beautiful.
he's playing.
It's gonna be like amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
But, like-
Jordan Fisher.
Does Sweeney need to be back? Probably not.
That's a different story.
They
And
said,
that's just my hot take. Okay.
they said
Right.
Phantom's
It's-
leaving. Bring this one back.
Right. And it's just like,
Wow, what is okay?
to me, like one show that I'm just waiting for the. To
She was
me,
beautiful
to me. That I'm like, I'm just waiting for it. If they said Jekyll and Hyde is coming back to Broadway, I would go, no thanks. No
Really?
thanks. I've seen it. Hate it.
Really?
Oh my gosh. I
I've
hated
never
it.
Seen it, and I'm like,
I've never seen it either.
Why?
Is it a sing through? Is the question.
Couldn't tell you.
Because I'm so sorry. We've talked about this on here, I'm sure.
Dude,
But I'll
hates
say it again. If it's a sing through, chances are I'm going to hate it.
oh.
Dude, hate it. Sweeney
Wait.
is.
Okay, so sing.
Sweeney is a sing through? Oh, then I definitely
believe
don't want to go.
The sing throughs are like Hamilton, Les Mis, where they just
Yes.
sing through the whole show, or like
Panda
Hadestown.
Musical.
Hadestown.
That's right. Yeah,
Panda
those.
Musical.
My mom doesn't like those either because she's like can't keep up. She's like,
I need
I don't know what's
dialogue.
going on,
I
but
just,
get that.
I'm so overstimulated because,
baby.
yeah,
Like-
that's exactly how I feel. Because, like, especially seeing it live, if it's something you're not familiar with, because I'm out here trying to look at the lighting, the set, the
Right.
costumes, the
Take it
dancing,
on.
the harmonies, and a story, and the performance of the actors, and I started having not a panic attack, like I know what those are,
panic
but a
attack.
panic attack.
Yeah.
Before Act 1 even ended, I was like, I can't do this.
It's too much.
When I was seeing Hadestown, I was like, I can't do it. And then I had to look up the plot after Act 1 was done because I was
Yes.
like, I missed, I'm sure, half of the show.
I did
Yeah.
the same thing.
I
'Cause
haven't
it's-
seen it.
It's too much. It's like so much at once, and you almost get just overstimulated. That's
Yeah.
like the best, or like I don't know, stimulation overload, overstimulation.
I just feel like the one that I could probably do is Les Mis. Like, I'm fine with it. But it's also like the moments where it's like like you could just say it.
right.
Exactly.
Like, who is this man who's having like
Yeah.
who is this man? I don't know where he's
I had an
at.
epiphany. I think sing-throughs are the reason that people don't like musicals.
I
You know what I
would
mean?
agree.
Yeah, because people are like, "Well, you
never
have to
thought of
sing
that.
everything." It's like not all musicals are like that.
Tori,
But the
I think
pop-
you've cracked the code.
I think I have.
That's insane.
Everyone listen to our podcast, please.
people
We
think-
have a genius here.
That's it. Though.
People think it's just singing the whole
But it's
time.
not. Like
It's
the
not.
good shows aren't.
Because-
not to.
Hold on, because
They're-
let me,
okay.
let's just state, sing-throughs are not bad, okay?
No,
Not at
no.
all.
There are good sing-throughs. I personally do not care for them. Because, again, overstimulation, too much going on. I think Hamilton is brilliant. I enjoyed the
course.
one time I watched it. Les Mis was the first sing-through I'd ever seen. Didn't know it was a sing-through, and I've only seen the movie. And even that one, to me couldn't be too overstimulating because it's a movie. They know exactly where you want your focus to be. But I just, it's too much.
And I agree that I think that people are like, oh no, it's all singing. No, the point of a musical, the reason they are not all straight plays is because the actors and the characters are supposed to sing when words are not enough. That is the point of a musical. Exactly. So that's why, like, when they're singing the whole time, it's like, to me, it's unmotivated. You know? Like, I think that's my problem with it.
Because they can't act, so they just sing. That was so mean. I don't mean that at all.
But, like, Dear Evan Hansen, like, he's singing Waving Through a Window because he's just gotten pushed on the ground and he doesn't have the words and he can only talk about what's in his head. You know?
Yeah.
Waving. Like, that, to me, is why I like musicals, is because when you can see the wheels turning in the character's head, 100%. That they can no longer talk.
Like,
it's
the
just
singing is the only way that they can convey what they feel and their emotions, like Color Purples. And cute, best musical ever.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Some sing-throughs are good. I think when you're listening to, like, the cast album,
that's fine.
Just listening to it, I think that's when you can really digest.
Yes. So, and I will say, because I have listened to Hadestown since seeing it, and I will say, I do want to see Hadestown again after listening to it, because now I'm familiar with the plot. I know what's going on. And the cast recording was beautiful. And I could understand all the words that were being said, because the person I saw on tour, I could not understand half of what they were saying.
That's okay.
Hermes, yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful voice. Beautiful voice.
Wunderbar.
But he, like...
The diction? Questionable. Yeah. And maybe it was the theater we were in. I don't know.
Where were you at?
There's a lot of things that
Costa Mesa.
Oh, the Siegs.
The Siegs.
I love the Siegs. Voice, but yeah, his diction was just difficult to hear. But I think he was the main Hermes, because I had seen Hadestown twice in its run, and the first time I saw it, it was a different Hermes, and he was great.
Interesting. Okay.
He was like he spoke some, but I think for the role of Hermes and for the type of show that Hadestown is, it benefited because that's a role that you really need to just take your time. Because Andre did fantastic.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like, I mean, he's a fantastic singer, but his voice sounds so nice because you can hear it, and his diction's very clear.
Right. So. Did you know he is not in Hadestown anymore, but he's still on Broadway? He's in Death of a Salesman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's interesting. I've never seen that before.
It's a wonderful show.
I think I was supposed to read that.
We did a scene from it, I thought.
We did?
Maybe I did in the ensemble class.
Oh, I wasn't in that class, so okay.
And I also did a scene from Noises Off.
That's a good show.
It is a good show. Anyways, what else were we going to talk about?
Well,
our college shows.
Yeah, so
our funny shows.
I wanted to talk about this before we get into detail, but like last time, we just came up on our 1 year anniversary of doing a show.
We did.
We just had our a year ago our closing night for the production I produced. Don't Dress for Dinner. And that was an incredibly special night, special process. But before even Don't Dress for Dinner, we were brought together, guys.
We were. For
a show called Boeing.
Man, such a good show.
When you guys were, in the last episode, when you were talking to Allie, and you guys were talking about, the cast list, and how you were we waited weeks for that cast list for
Uwe.
For Uwe, yeah.
And then you ended up not even being on the cast list.
Me, yeah.
I was like, wow, this is a similar experience to what I went through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which...
Sadness.
That whole... was crazy.
Crazy.
It was wild.
Can we talk about for a second the process of that show? In college, I feel like we had... I don't want to say no competition, but no competition.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
I don't mean that by the people. I mean it by the stakes were not high for auditions.
That's correct.
Until this show.
That's correct.
And this show, I worked my booty off, and I got in by the skin of my teeth.
This is true.
Because it is very well known. This will probably be my fired next week. I am not good at callbacks.
That's so interesting. We talked about this when we were
doing our
callbacks and our auditions. I told Sheridan that I'm not good at auditions, and she told me she's not good at callbacks.
I'm awful at them. And I don't know why. I am like unable to make a choice.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love callbacks because I think that the choice is already made for me.
Right.
I feel because like, you're able to, you have like, it's like picking out of like 2 things. But in auditions, you're picking out of like hundreds of things.
Right.
Like you could go so many different directions. But with callbacks, there's typically like a clear avenue that you have to.
See, I just need to rework my brain. 'Cause
See,
that
yeah.
I feel the other way.
But no, I agree with you. And
Sorry.
it's not saying that people weren't talented or
Right.
not good or anything, because there was definitely talent at that school.
100%.
But the shows that we had available to us, again, like not many people auditioned, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was so many roles like Uwe, where it's like clearly everyone who showed up here is going to get cast.
Right.
With Boeing, this was the first time I felt I needed to compete, because there were only 2 male roles in that show.
Right.
And I think there were like 8 guys called back.
Yeah.
I think the pressure for me came from it being a funny show.
Yes,
And I've
that too.
always been a funny girl on stage.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God, if I don't get in this show, like, what is my whole life? You know?
What am
Like,
I
I've
worth?
been talking it up. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm so funny. I'm always the funny sidekick. So then when we got to the auditions, I was like, oh, I really got to show what I'm made of. You know?
We pushed
Put
for the
your money
show.
where your mouth is.
What'd you say?
I said we pushed for the show too. We
guys did? I
we
remember that.
pushed for the show to be done. We pushed for the director that we had.
Oh,
I wouldn't have
the most
auditioned
brilliant.
the best director ever.
Such a great
I
director.
wouldn't have auditioned if it wasn't for you guys. You guys were like, we want you to play the Italian. I
Oh,
was like,
Yeah. So do you guys remember like what? I clearly very different experiences, but what it was like getting that cast list finally, like, and like where you were, because I remember I was at work. I was working at Target at the time, and I was in the break room. And first of all, like, let me also state, we auditioned and we had to wait a few days for the cast list because Sheridan was in another show.
I was.
And we had to wait because Sheridan and another girl who had auditioned for the show were both in it.
Because he didn't want to ruin our closing night.
that's
Yes.
right. I remember that.
And when he told me that, I was like, I didn't get it. That's fine.
So we had to wait until
But I did.
like the Sunday, and we had the audition or the callback on like a Monday night. So we had to wait almost a week to get
Yeah.
the answer.
I was on my way to campus.
Oh, okay.
When
Oh, yeah.
I-
You were with another person who got cast in the show.
We were going to see Midsummer at the
Okay.
school. It was like a whole event.
Yeah.
Is there hair?
There was a little.
And we got the email, and then I remember opening it, and it was the cutest little ticket. It was a ticket,
was
but
a
we were
ticket,
like,
that's right.
we were like, where's the list?
Yeah. The formatting of the cast list was like a
was like,
plane
cool ticket.
because it's
Cute.
Boeing, so it was made like a plane ticket. But yeah, I did the same thing. I scrolled to the bottom of the email and I was like, where's like the list? And then you see like
Yeah.
it was like in detail, like a first class ticket, and here
It's
are all
so
the names.
cute. I still have it in my email.
I lost my mind when I saw my name on the list.
I did too. I fully thought I wasn't getting it
Same
because
here.
my callback was us.
And Tori,
So bad.
you saw your name on the list,
Yeah.
but not where we wanted it to be.
No, I was cast as everybody's understudy.
Which,
Basically.
like, ouchie. That's so hard.
Wait,
It's so
really
hard,
hard.
because the show was so heavy with accents. There was an Italian accent, a German accent, a British accent. No British.
French.
Oh, French. So Italian.
And New
German,
York.
French.
In New York.
So Italian, New York, and I just said it. I'm
French.
missing it.
I was French.
French. Those ones I was like, oh, I could potentially do those.
Mm-hmm.
The German was a no-go.
Man.
And the French also. I looked at Sheridan and said, don't get sick.
Literally, we were in
Not
my
get sick.
first accent
The
coaching.
class, the coaching. was
Coaching.
weird.
And Tori literally halfway through was like, Sheridan, I won't go on for you. And I was like, oh, thank you,
Well,
Tori.
You guys also, we won't name any names, but that was an interesting dialect training,
Weirdest.
which after hearing some of the stuff you guys have been through and then comparing it to the work that I've done with other dialect coaches, I'm like, that was really bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was odd. I mean, we got it to where it needed to be.
Yeah.
Eventually.
We got there.
But so
it
you
was
were
very-
everyone's understudy, and then you were also titled assistant director.
Assistant director, which was very cool. I think that's from the whole experience. Like, I wouldn't change anything because I saw the assistant director, and Jason was like, "Oh, sorry," our director was like, "Well, I'll need some help. So if you want to help assistant direct."
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
like, I will do whatever I can just to be involved because it was the first show that I had auditioned for and wanted to be involved in. And girl, I took that assistant director role
You
and I
ran
ran
with
with
you
it.
ran.
Tori,
That was so much fun.
I would say at least half of the things that made us funny came from you.
I agree.
Came from you
Aw.
being like, okay, yes, can we do it like this? From a peer's perspective, from the audience, if you did this, it would elevate it. And it did every time. There was never something that you said that we tried that didn't work. It was always, I was like, she's a genius.
Oh my god, that's so sweet.
You ran
Genuinely. I
like you
really
ran a
mean it.
whole
My-
rehearsal.
My
That's so
character
sweet.
would
I
not
didn't
have been
know.
what it was without you. Are you kidding?
That's so nice.
I
Oh my
I
God.
learned from everyone. None of that was me. None of it.
It's
Except
so-
for
it's
maybe my face, but that's it.
It's so fun. It was really fun bouncing ideas off of our director because I would be thinking something and I'd be like, what do you think if we did this? He's like, well, let's try it. And then we would try it and like sometimes it would work, but then there would be the off chance that he'd be like, or both of us would catch it. We'd be like, maybe not that.
Right.
Let's try something different. But then after like a couple of rehearsals, I think the both of us kind of like learned each other's groove.
Mm-hmm.
So I think after a while he kind of began to trust me and he's like, whatever you think is gonna work, just don't even ask me, just tell them.
Yeah.
And then we'll work it out. It was fun.
Before I realized I was like, we talked about the show. We didn't even say what the show was.
Yeah, we did.
No, like we said what the show is, but like what the show is about.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
So Boeing is originally a French farce comedy set in the 1960s in Paris, and it's about a bachelor named Bernard. He lives in his fancy little flat in Paris, and he has 3 fiancées.
All flight attendants.
All flight attendants from different countries, and he has a maid who lives with him in his flat named Bertha.
I was giggling because I was looking at Tori in there and she was burping. and then I see her.
Jack in the Box before this.
Sorry, keep going. A maid.
Gotta get the burpees
Bertha.
out. Yeah, maid Bertha who lives with him at the flat, and they I just heard her stomach gurgling.
Bubblegum.
Anyway, yeah, he has these 3 fiancées, and he has to change his apartment every single time they come over because they all work on different airlines, so they come at different times. Of course, perfect plan. And then, of course, it all goes wrong. One day, his Bernard, the bachelor, his friend Robert, shows up unexpectedly, and then all of the flights that these air hostesses are on all get canceled or diverted, and so they all end up coming back to the flat at the same time. And then Bernard and his best friend have to like keep them
Keep the peace.
keep them all separated. And honestly, it's a really, like, when you think about it, a sketch kind of show that
Right.
most theaters would not want to do these days. But I think the way that we handled it and proceeded with the show was very, very, well done, and there was a lot of comedy. And it's such a fun ride. It's a door, what's that called? Like a door
Like a
slammer show?
revolving door.
Yeah.
I don't know what the term is, but I know what
Door
you're saying.
slammer? I don't know. Because a big part of the plot is one door opens, another closes, with like
right.
all the characters coming in and keeping them all
Yeah.
separated.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It was a wild show. And I played Robert,
Yes.
the friend, and I was bamboozled because you see all these descriptions for the show. I thought Bernard was the one always on stage. They barely mentioned Robert. I was like, I'll play the friend. I'll come and tell a joke and leave. And I was on stage the entire time except for 2 scenes,
Yeah.
except for 2 little parts. And I had never had to memorize so many words in my whole life.
This is what I was talking about last week. Jacob can carry any show on his back. Carry. He's incredible. This was when I was like, and you choose me to be your friend? Yeah.
No, I choose you to be my friend because you drive me places.
That's right. I forgot. It's because I have 4 wheels on my
I'm
car.
kidding. No, but it was very, very fun, very gratifying and
Yeah.
rewarding. And honestly, overall, it was such a positive experience being in this show.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so tough because I loved the entire cast. And that's why, like, it stung so bad to not have Tori on stage with us. Because at first we were like, how do we get this other girl out of here? But then, like, as we went on, we were like, damn it, we love her so much. And, like, we can't get rid of anybody. So, yeah. But also, Tori, you were absolutely incredible because you ran a whole rehearsal by yourself.
A couple of them.
Yeah, a couple, because our director had to go out on maternity leave.
Paternity leave.
Sorry. Same thing.
His wife had a baby.
He was pregnant. And
Jason had a baby.
Jason gave birth.
My fairy godfather had a baby.
And so he was gone, so Tori took over and was amazing and gave us great things to work with. And then she filled in for an actress one night because she wasn't there, and she was so much fun to watch.
I had so much you know when like you've been sitting on the sidelines for so long, and then they finally give you the opportunity of like, do you want to fill in? Yes.
That's how I felt with my last rehearsal. You know, like, you know, you're like, okay, like you just get up and do it.
I think that show really pushed me as a person.
Yeah.
Because, man, I played a role that I would not usually play.
I have videos of our director like sitting and talking to you, and you guys just sitting there having a conversation, and him getting so like just sitting and trying to like get a point through your brain, and you're like, I thought I was doing that. He's like, no.
You have videos of that?
Yeah, I'll have to like dig and search, but I do.
Oh my God, I want to
videos
see.
of, like, I took a lot of videos during that production.
I remember having a meeting with him, and he basically, like, in the nicest way possible, was like, Sheridan, get your head out of your ass. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, these other girls are walking circles around you. Like, you need to pick up the pace. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? And I remember, I think it was Tech Week, I finally had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
I cried my eyes out because I felt like I was doing everything wrong. And then it was like a light switch turned on, and I was like, there she is.
I remember that.
There's Bertha.
I remember talking to him beforehand, and he was like, okay, I'm going to have a short meeting with each one of the actors. Do you have anything that you want to like include on what they should improve on or all that? And then we had all of our people, and then we got to you, and I was like, something's not clicking. Like, I know her, and I know that she needs something. I was like, you either need to like have a one-on-one with her. I was like, but it's everything. Like, it's like all the pieces of the puzzle are there. We just need to like shove them together.
And I'm a tough love kind of girl.
Right.
Like, my brain works in like coach sport. You know what I mean? Like, coaches are like the hard, like, come on. So when the whole like, please do this, please, that doesn't work in my brain. I need someone to be like, Sheridan, snap out of it, get it together. You're letting your team down. And I'm like, okay. But I think, like, thinking back on it, I think what it was is I always try to find something in me, Sheridan, that is in common with the character.
Right.
And for the life of me, I was like, there's nothing that is the same about me and Bertha. There's nothing. And then I finally was like, oh, she's a confident lady, but no one knows it. Oh, she is so fiercely loyal to the ones that she loves. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then finally, like, all the comedy hit, all of everything. I was like, thank goodness.
It seriously went from like black and white to color.
Yes.
In, like,
in that tech.
Yes. In one rehearsal. And I looked at Jason. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
this
our
is
girl.
great.
There's our star.
Because in that moment,
I'm Madison and I just turned 9.
That's
the whole show like came to life after that moment. Because
It was crazy.
everybody was like hitting their marks. It was just you. And then finally you got it. And I looked at Jason. I was like, we have a show.
We have a show.
We have a show.
God, it was so hard. And it's not even like I wasn't doing a bad job before. It was just like
Not at all.
everyone is up here and
Yes.
Sheridan is like,
Yeah.
it's still on the way up. So. But Jacob was magnificent.
Jacob was not perfect the whole time.
Jacob was
And
perfect
we
the whole
all know
Jacob's a
that's
J.
true. That I was not. Because I had my rehearsal moment too, where like according to you and to Jason, like that, like I finally like started to like peek through and was doing what I
It's
needed to
very
do.
early on though.
But it took me a little bit to get there because the biggest thing is the lines, because there were
Yeah.
so many lines, and Robert barely leaves the stage, especially in Act 3. I mean, we did it in 2 acts, but like looking back at that script, I was flipping through it and I was like, how on earth did I do this play? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. But no, honestly, Sheridan was the one I was getting the most like compliments about. People were like, she was incredible. And I was like, yeah, I know, like, duh. And even I, being on stage, I remember one night we were doing our scene together.
God,
and
we
like,
did an 8-page scene together, just
was,
us.
It was so
Right,
long.
yeah.
And I was just I remember like I was taken out for a second because like I was looking at you and I was like, that's Bertha. Like, it's not Sheridan. And, like, I was like, so like, oh, I need to like focus and get back into it. But I was like, my friend's incredible. Like, she's talented. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Not to mention, Sheridan had to learn a French accent. I don't know if we said that. She had to
Oh,
learn
yeah.
a French accent, and it was perfect.
Thank you.
I heard from many people who came and saw the show that they said that you were their favorite because they could understand you the best.
Yes.
And with French accents, that's not easy. You know?
That I was just about to say, that was one of my favorite compliments that I got, is one of our friends from improv was like, Sheridan, that was incredible. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I appreciate it, because everyone says that.
Right.
And he was like, no. I could understand you the entire time. You had a hard accent, and I never had to think about what you were saying because
Right.
I could hear it, and you were like telling the story. And I was like, thank you. I was like, that's I love compliments like that where they're like, no, I'm being serious
Yeah.
because of X, Y, and Z.
And those are the best because you know that they were paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they were very, like, invested, and, like, you told a story and they heard it.
The accents were hard.
The accents were super
Even
hard.
the German, I was like, whoo, I had a whole scene with her, and I was like,
The German
sometimes it
was
was hard to
crazy.
understand.
German was very hard, but also the actress we had playing the character Gretchen, the German, in the show, she came in here with like a confidence I had
Yes.
never seen. And I remember we all, jaws to the floor, were like, oh, damn.
I was so intimidated.
And our director immediately was like, that is what you guys need to strive for. And all of us just kind of were like, okay.
But
how
it was
did we
kind
get
of
there?
odd. Everyone had their own journey, I
Yes.
think. And she started so high
So
and
high.
never went higher.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like she said up there
And kind
and
of-
then coasted.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jacob was like, oh, there it is, and then
Yeah.
nailed it. And I was like, oh, here we are. Okay.
She didn't climb up the hill, she found the elevator. And
I had to find the elevator. I was like, I'm lazy. Okay.
There we go.
I don't take the stairs.
God, there was honestly so much, like, there was a lot, like, a good thing, like, there was some drama with that show too.
was.
Like,
People were really upset with the cast. People were really upset they didn't get in.
Oh, that's
People thought
right.
it was
That's
like a
right.
personal thing, but it wasn't.
That was the whole
yeah,
thing. I
like,
remember
honestly,
that.
like, friendships stopped because
Yes.
of the casting of that show.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. Sorry.
I wouldn't either. You know, it's fine. Like, I wish them all well. We've
I
all
do
kind of
too.
gone
They're
our
all
separate.
wonderful people.
Yeah, they've all gone their separate ways. There was drama within like the cast because like there was some personal stuff going on between some people.
Let me just say that for all of my girlies and gals, and non-binary pals out there who love the tea, the show had some tea.
The
It
show
really
too.
did.
It did, and it was like not being cast in the show, but just like seeing it from like an outside perspective was very interesting
Mm-hmm.
in like the best way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry to those who
Just
were in that situation.
don't date your coworkers.
Yeah, don't
is
date
the
your
rule.
Oh, don't date your coworkers. I gotta learn that rule. I'm just kidding. I'm not dating my coworkers.
But you know, like little
Had a crush on one in high school.
Oh, in high school.
in high school. Yeah, but because that affected us
Right.
when some people
100%.
started seeing each other, and because then that was like affecting
Their performance.
focus and performance. And this has nothing to do with that relationship, but someone got kicked in the face one night. I don't know. I'm just going to blame it.
Oh my God, let's
was
talk
hilarious.
about
The
they
kick
listen?
in the face.
Do we know?
I don't know
we
if
don't
they
know.
listen.
We haven't talked to them.
If they do, hi, how are you? Miss
Hey,
you.
boo.
Miss you, buddy. Yeah, one of the nights, we were doing our usual blocking, fight call choreography stuff, and
It's going to be another long episode.
the
Sorry.
character. Oh, this is gonna be such a long episode. Like, I'm already looking at the time. I'm like, how are we gonna get to everything we want to
I
talk
know,
about?
I know.
We'll get there. We got this.
And so we were doing the bit on stage, and I don't know. First of all, I will say the director has told me that it was not at my fault. I will
There we
take
go.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, but like I'm still involved with the situation. Like I could have done some things differently, and it's a intense, high octane comedy show, and I think we were just trying to crank it up a little bit. What?
Sorry, I've never heard that word before, so I was really listening.
Oh, okay.
High octane?
Yeah. High
What does
octane.
that mean?
Sure didn't. Look at a dictionary.
Carry on.
Excuse me. I'm speaking.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
I'm speaking. No, high octane. It just means like
high
it's
energy.
like yeah, very
The
high up
stakes
there.
are high,
Like it's
kind of thing.
yeah.
I think.
I don't actually know the dictionary definitions. I just heard the term a lot.
Okay,
If I'm
keep
being
going.
real honest. Anyway, so it's like meant to be super like amped up, and my fellow co-star tripped on stage and took me with him, and my foot clipped him in the face and got him in the nose.
He also added things
He
to
did.
that part, like not like just to that like scene.
Yes,
There
that's
was a lot of things because we didn't have a fight call for Boeing.
which was a mistake.
A mistake.
A mistake.
know that
We,
now.
we've
We
learned
have a
that.
fight call for the show afterwards.
Yes.
The sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But for this show, there was no fight call, which meant that they were just kind of like having fun every night, which was very cool to watch, to see the different variations of like the fight, quote unquote fight that ensued on stage. But that did mean that there was room for people to like improvise, which is what ended up happening. And I saw it. Like we all watched, and I could clearly tell that Jacob like was very caught off guard. And then all of a sudden, somebody had a bloody nose, and everybody in the audience was like, "Oh my god!"
It was intense. And I mean, I will say we kept it the same pretty well every time we ran it. It's just that one particular night we were like, we're feeling ourselves.
Wasn't it
Like,
closing night?
No, it was the night before closing night.
Oh, I thought it was closing.
I thought it was closing too.
Or maybe it was closing.
I thought
was
it
it
was.
closing?
I thought it was. But
Oh,
maybe it could have been the night before.
maybe you're right. Maybe it was
'Cause he was
closing.
like, I'm concussed.
Yeah,
right.
it was closing night.
Sorry.
And luckily there were tissues on the stage because they happened to be there.
Hold on,
It was, like,
hold
part
on.
of a bit.
Talking about tissues, someone backstage went, Sheridan, do you know what just happened on stage? And I was like, no, I'm not on stage. I'm not paying attention.
Why
I'm
would I
off
know?
stage. Why would I know? And they were like, well, the booth is saying that you need to bring someone a tissue because they have a bloody nose. And I said, why do I have to do it? And they were like, it would make sense. You're the maid. And I was like,
Oh, okay.
and then I didn't end up doing it. But
Well, there was already tissue on stage. I remember we adjusted the rest of the scene, but it was so thrown off. I could feel the energy was so
hilarious.
different.
You guys
I
pulled it together very well.
I like looked at him, continued my lines, reached down and grabbed the tissues and just kind of like shoved them towards
You,
him.
like, grabbed the tissues for all the visual people who are watching on YouTube. Jacob went,
And just right into his face.
in his nose,
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I mean,
I
like,
would have
in
like
his
twirled it
face.
and stuck
it
it
was
up
very
in-
light, like I didn't want it to be too forceful, and I had to repeat a line because it affected another actor
Right.
coming in.
and then he grabbed the tissues like this.
Yeah. Oh my
like,
god.
shoved them on
It
his
was the worst closing night I think I've ever had. I felt
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, and then before he went out to the audience, they were like, he's been concussed. And I was like, I don't think so. But okay.
And I mean, I love, much love for this person.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've worked with him before. And, I've called him out on it. I'm like, sometimes you add stuff, like, to the script.
to the
and-
blocking.
To the blocking. Sometimes
Yeah.
the blocking is changed.
All of this
There
has
was-
been said with love.
So
With
much
all-
love. There was
all
one
love.
night
It's just so
where
funny.
I remember I was sitting there talking to him and I was like, oh, monsieur, blah, blah, blah. And he's supposed to be to the right of me. And he's like suddenly behind me grabbing a tie. And I was like,
What are you doing?
How do I look at you? You're behind me. Where'd you go? And then we got off stage and I was like, why'd you do that? He was like, nothing changed. And I was like, you've never done it like that before.
Black out the moment you
It's like,
on
I
stage?
was like, you just wandered.
What are you doing?
I don't know what you're doing. I was supposed to be sitting,
You
sir.
should have him on and put him in the hot seat and be like, all right, so
Give us the tea.
at 2:54 December 14th p.m., why did you walk behind me instead of going forward? Like
Where'd your
Bucky
tie
said.
go? Did you throw it?
Who knows?
So funny.
Oh, man. That show.
That show, I will say, it left an impression, and I loved it so much that when we were stuck in the insert favorite P word panorama,
Panty dropper.
Pennywise.
yeah,
Oh.
Polaroid picture pandemic, I looked up Boeing sequel on the internet out of pure just like, I wonder if anyone like wrote like a fan fiction
Oh my gosh,
of like,
he was looking for fan fiction. Let
Yeah,
it be known.
I was like, if anyone like
Bernie.
came up with like stories like to what happened to these characters after this show, and then I discovered a real sequel
Yeah.
called Don't Dress for Dinner, and I was like, there's no way this is real. And then I found the script and like started learning about the show, and I was like, this is real. Like, there's a story that happens after this about Bernard and Robert, and I lost my mind. And the quickness of me texting you guys
Yeah,
about this, I was like, guys, there's a Boeing sequel.
And we all had questions. We're like, what about this? What about this? And Jacob's like, I found the show an hour ago. So
Yeah, I was
don't
like,
know yet.
I don't know. And the first thing was like, is everyone back in it? And I was like, no, only Bernard and Robert.
Bertha, nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. None of the air
Get
hostesses.
around.
Sadly.
None of it. Because it really was like more of like a standalone sequel. Like, you don't need to see Boeing to see Don't Dress for Dinner. And then the gears started turning, and then I was like, I want to see this. So then I organized a thing for all of us, and we did like a stage reading on Zoom.
Oh my god, that was fun. I forgot about that.
And that was like our first exposure to the script. And then I was like, no, this needs to be done. Like, I want to see this happen, like a full-on production like we did with Boeing. And that journey began
Good.
getting to do that show. The first show I ever produced, probably the last.
Produced, directed, and started.
Co-directed.
Oh, yeah.
Directed and started.
Yeah, so that was crazy. I had to go through so many people because I was an alumni at that point to get the school to let me put it on. And I had questions. They're like, well, who's going to direct it? And I wanted Jason to come back to direct it. Because I was like, you're my number one choice. But, you know, he's a family man. He's got a life.
Yeah.
He's got a job. He's got kids. So he couldn't direct full time. And the timing that they gave me was really annoying because I wanted to do the show the same time we did Boeing in the spring. And they wouldn't let me have it. And they were like, well, you can do the show in December of 2021. And I had found out about the show like that April or something. And I was like, that's very quick. But I knew if I waited, it probably wouldn't happen. So I kind of jumped on the opportunity, and I reached out to our actor who played Bernard and served as my co-director. I was like, I can't do this alone. Like, if you want to help me lead it. And he was like, yeah, for sure. And then I got in touch with you guys again. I was like, would you guys do this if I can make this happen? And you guys were so amazing. And we're like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're on board. And that's how that happened. But, you know, that production had a lot of things.
So many obstacles.
So many
Like,
things
every
wrong.
way we turned, it was just something else was just
Going wrong. I will say,
wrong.
the thing I was probably most excited for was Tori finally got to be on stage with us, and
was so
she
fun.
freaking again killed it because Tori is talented and amazing and absolutely nails every role she plays.
That-
No, but it's true. But it's
That's
true.
enough.
And Sheridan was the best cheerleader because I would call her almost every night being like, how am I going to do this? I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, Jacob, knock it off.
Yeah.
You're fine. And I was like, but you're lying to me.
I wasn't. You
So
were so organized.
Were
You had you had all your ducks in a row. And when an obstacle, I think you were so prepared that when an obstacle came, we were like, okay, let's handle it. And then the ducks were back in a row. And then like one little ducky got out of line and you were like, back get in line, you little preschooler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know those little preschoolers on a leash?
Yeah.
It was like that.
So what was the show like for you guys? Like,
I had a great time.
I also had a great time. It was a lot
That's
of fun.
good.
I think during the time, like mentally, I was going through a lot, which looking back now, I understand why. I wasn't sure at the time. What
Oh,
was
yeah.
happening, but I was dealing with a lot. There's a lot going on.
There was a lot we didn't know
So many undiscovered things.
that, you know, are
It's
taken care of.
they're fine now. We're good.
We're all good now.
It took me a
Everything's fine.
second. I was like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about? I got it. It's here.
That's right. That was during that time. But yeah, it was so much fun. It was really fun to just be in a production with my friends
Yeah.
and to be able to have a lot of creative freedom with
Mm-hmm.
our characters because once again, these farces are you get a lot of creative liberty and you get a lot of like playtime as actors, as we actors call it, and you just kind of get like a lot of freedom to play and to ask questions and to make discoveries, and I think that was probably my favorite part, was just messing around. And like it's fun because you can really, you know, when you're like rehearsing and you kind of like get off track and then the director's like, okay guys, back on track.
Right.
With farces, I think there's a lot of
lot more
fun.
Yeah.
You can have a lot more fun. You can take those like moments in rehearsals where you're not really like focused and on task, and you can kind of turn it into a part of your character because it's just, you have fun with it and you can be silly and you can be like outrageous and it fits. Kind of like anything goes with those shows.
I think my favorite part was like all the people who were like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. And I was like, yeah, isn't Jacob incredible for putting this on? Like Jacob did this, and this. So like just watching, like it was just a very like proud friend moment to
100%.
see Jacob like work his tookus off. That was my favorite part. And then like watching it back and all the funny things that we did were really funny.
It was a lot. And like you said,
Towards the end was
building
hard.
it was
Very
hard.
difficult.
But building the characters, and it was fun because this show is about Bernard and Robert, set a couple years, or at least in our heads, a few years after the events of Boeing. And same craziness happens, but this plot is way more like confusing.
Oh my gosh, especially with
100%.
us.
Yeah, because
God,
so
with our names.
let's walk through it really
I
quick.
was Suzette. You were
Yes.
Suzanne.
All the S's.
We had Suzette and Suzanne, but this plot was about a couple years later. Bernard, again, living in Paris. He's married to a woman named Jacqueline, and it's kind of like a rocky relationship. And Jacqueline has plans to go away for the weekend to stay with her mother, and Bernard invites Robert to come and stay with him to be an alibi because Bernard has a mistress named Suzanne.
Back to his old tricks.
And he goes all the way out. He hires a cooking agency to prepare them a nice meal. And when Jacqueline finds out that Robert is coming, Jacqueline cancels her plans to stay the weekend because Jacqueline is having an affair with Robert.
Wait, I thought that Jacqueline wasn't actually going to her mom's.
No, she was. That was the plan the whole time.
This whole time I thought she had another lover.
No.
I was in the show and I didn't even
Jacqueline
know.
was supposed to leave, and she stays because she finds out Robert is coming.
Oh,
and so,
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
Okay.
Robert and Jacqueline are having an affair. Bernard's having an affair with Suzanne.
And Suzette's just there to cook.
Suzette's just there to cook. And so when Robert shows up, Bernard explains to Robert, he's like, you have to pretend to be Suzanne's, Suzanne has to be your mistress. And Robert immediately is like, that won't work because he's having an affair with Jacqueline and hasn't talked to Jacqueline about it. And Robert reluctantly agrees. And the first girl who shows up is Suzette. But little to Robert's knowledge, like he doesn't know that. He just knows her as Susie.
Susie.
Because they both go by Susie. And so Robert tells his whole life story to Suzette, Susie, and is like, okay, now you're my girlfriend. And when Bernard comes back into the room, he's like, here's my girlfriend. And Bernard
He's
is
like,
just
no.
as confused.
He's like, never seen her.
Never seen her a day in my life. And
She
then
loves big beds though. So.
she loves big beds.
God.
And then
I
Suzanne
love
shows up and now has to pretend to be a cook.
Oh my god.
And
Right.
And then at the very end of the show, Suzette's husband shows up.
Yeah, so random.
And
Can I just say the original casting for the role of George was the best thing in the world? Because, can we say his name?
Sure, why not?
Okay, Michael, right? Michael, okay. Great. You're the best. But the role called for somebody who was literally like 6'5" and was like built like a tree trunk. And and Michael was like kind of a lankier guy, tall, but just like more on the slim side. And so there's a line in the show that says, or no, it's like is it a stage direction? Or
Yeah,
like,
it's a stage direction. It just said he's big.
There's like other people in this show that are like a little bit, that have like a couple inches on him, and it was just very funny. Luckily, we ended up getting somebody else in that role.
His brother. Jeffrey.
Who did fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jeffrey's the best.
yeah, so Michael got the role originally because it was a joint collaboration between, the alumni and the current theater club, and we knew Michael and we didn't really want to hold an audition, and he expressed interest, so we were like, yeah, for sure, like, you can do it. He's a fantastic actor and performer.
100%.
And he's so good. And then we had Jeffrey kind of come in to help us out with like props and things like that. And
I thought Jeffrey came in to stand in for Michael on the nights that he wasn't going to be there.
that too.
It was both.
It was
I
both.
didn't know he came in for props.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
We
Missed that.
He was helping Michael because Michael was also on props. He was helping Michael.
Yeah.
And then one of the rehearsals, and they both had a conversation with me, because Michael was very busy with work
theater
and
club.
he had theater things. He was just running around like crazy, and Jeffrey was willing to take the role, and he was like, I have no, like, if you still want me to play the part, I will, but I think Jeffrey would be great.
Yeah.
And
Even Michael, he was like, I think that he would play this role much better than I could. Like, I think he
physically
could take it and like run with it.
physically Jeffrey fit the part much better.
Perfect. Yeah.
And Jeffrey, also fantastic actor and performer. I love working with him. Would do it again and again. Filled in, and honestly, it was the perfect switch.
Yeah, it really was. It like it really elevated our show. It took it from like, oh, this is fun, to like, oh, this is a show.
He was like my saving grace backstage.
Oh, that's
I
right.
love him. And whenever I was nervous, I would look at him and he'd be like, you're fine. It's all going to be okay. We're just having fun with our friends. I had a quick change, and it could have had we originally thought it was going to take like 2-3 people to help me. He did it all by himself, helped me. He is such a team player. He is just like someone that you want in your show.
I was thinking the same
He's
thing.
incredible.
I was just going to say the same thing. Like, if you have somebody if you have just a Jeffrey in your show, somebody who's a team player who will, like, yes and to everything.
Everything.
Can you take another rehearsal day tomorrow? Yep. Can you figure out what to do for this set of props? Yep, I can do it. Can you do this? Yeah, I can
He
do
would
it.
help move the set when we
I was
needed
just
it.
about to
Like,
say the set.
just fantastic,
Great.
incredible human being.
Shout out.
And
Good job.
honestly, like, had that been the only cast switch up, I would have said the show could have been like near perfect.
Right.
But we had another.
And this is where things really got so complicated, and what honestly breaks my heart, because like when I think back on the show, like I wish I could be 100% proud of it. And the further like I get from it, like I have a hard time, and I feel like I let everyone down, and I let you guys down.
You did not.
And you guys say that, and it's like I know that, but like in my head, like it's still I still think of it.
Sorry, the thing was shaking.
Yeah, no, I hit it. I'm sorry, camera. But we had an actress who was a part of the original Boeing production, was cast in the sequel, and we were working really, really hard. And then 3 weeks before we were supposed to go up, the actress dropped. And I was worried about a lot of things about this show. The one thing I was not worried in the slightest about was the actors, because I had so much confidence and belief in every single one of you. I was like, that part will come easy. Like, I'm not going to worry about them. And that ended up being the thing that nearly destroyed me.
I think it threw all of us off, but it definitely, I know it affected you the most, because, like Sheridan was saying, Jacob definitely, like, had all of his ducks in a row the entire production, but this was the one thing that, like, completely derailed the train, and that it was very, like, I mean, 3 weeks before production, losing one of the main actresses, it's like,
It's hard.
it's so hard. You have to start from scratch. Like, you have to find somebody who's willing to fill in, and who's, like, you know, there's just so much that goes into it.
And it was
a lot.
hard. Shout out also to Allie, because Allie put this on blast. She went on Facebook and like put out like a casting notice. And I had several people reach out, and they looked at the schedule and they unfortunately couldn't do it,
Which is fine.
which is totally
Like,
fine.
the people that were like, I would like to be involved, but I know that I can't commit. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
Because-
the honesty.
That was an issue. Sorry.
It was an issue we had.
Sorry, I'll say it.
The actress we ended up getting,
Yeah.
I don't watch this.
I'm very
Maybe.
grateful for the work that was done, and I'm grateful for
Yes.
stepping in and for doing as much as they could. It was not what I would consider professional level status. I'm just
Agreed.
saying, we on Broadway and in the real world, which this person was preaching that they knew a lot about and that they were a part of, constantly it was like, oh, I've worked with so and so, I've done this project and done this.
Then show it.
The work that they did was not acceptable. Like, you know, Music Man had someone learn the role in what, 8 hours? This person had 3 weeks to learn the role and still had to go on stage with
And they-
with a book.
disguised book. Yeah.
But they knew from the beginning of them signing on, it was 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, they
They
knew.
were told. And they had a chat with me one night, and they were like, yeah, I'm not going to learn all my lines. And I was talking to one of my friends, and I told them I'm not going to learn the lines fully.
And didn't their friend...
And their friend was like,
What do
you
you mean?
committed to it. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean you're not going to try? And she was like, I get to
Yeah.
bring my script.
You told me they were like,
I
this
remember
friend,
that.
because I heard she had a similar conversation later with someone else too, and
Really?
her friend was like, wait a minute, you have 3 weeks to learn it, and you're not off book. And in that moment, I was like, see, your friend is smart. Yeah, 3 weeks to learn the show, and I get it. It's a long script. There are a lot.
But then don't sign up for it if
Don't.
you know that that's not something that you're capable of doing.
Yeah. So, and that ended up costing me
Money.
like over $300.
Real life doll hairs. folks.
My money.
Moolah.
It was my money, because this person told me from the beginning, they were like, I don't think I could do Saturday because I have work. And so originally we were trying to work out something with another actress, and that
I'm so sorry. Again, don't sign up for the show if your schedule isn't free and if you're not willing to completely commit to it.
Yes, I agree. But they also knew I was desperate, because I was at this point. I feel like we reached out. I didn't reach out hard enough. I had a friend who probably could have done it and didn't think that they had the time. So I paid this actress over $300 for subpar work in the show. And it's so devastating because, especially for you, Tori, some of your biggest moments were with this actress.
That's right. Yeah.
And they were completely not what they were supposed to be, because this actress was not at the caliber that you guys were at.
Literally, go girl, give us nothing. Go girl, give us nothing.
I made this girl a teleprompter. I spent
Yes.
hours of my free time
That's right.
to replicate the script on a screen and to have it displayed during the play.
3 weeks.
And 3 weeks to learn
3
it, the
weeks.
show. Still had to carry a book.
Like, the
I've-
amount of work.
I've talked to people who saw the show, and they're like, that was the script? And I'm like, don't be dumb. You know she had the script. And they're like, I genuinely didn't know.
Yeah, I feel like some
And I was like, how would you not know?
non-theater
No.
people noticed. The
Yeah.
theater people definitely were like, that's a book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because we all know the tips and tricks.
Do you want to know what was my big thing? Like, I can get past the acting. I can get past the unprofessionalism sometimes. What I can't get past, you have the script.
Right.
All of
Oh
us
my God.
know our lines.
Right.
You should not be missing lines
Oh
if you have the book. I'm sorry.
It was a problem.
There were so many times where I was like, put your head down. Look
Look.
at the teleprompter. Like,
Yeah.
it's right there for you.
I remember that.
Oh,
That's
like the
right.
the odd pauses. I was like,
They would constantly like miss lines. I forgot about that. That was. I remember.
they
that
were a
now.
cool enough person,
They were.
but
And yeah, like I said, this person, I am very grateful for what
Yeah.
they did for showing up, because they could have not.
And they
And
saved their asses.
and she did.
Man.
Would I work with her again? I always say never, but I don't have plans to. Just because of that experience. I wish her well, and thank you for helping out in that tight spot. But I'm just gonna say, like, if you're gonna sign on, like you said, you know what you're signing on
You
for.
know what you're signing on for, exactly.
Don't leave me high and dry. Like, it was
Yeah.
so rough. But through that, we had a great resilient crew.
Oh, yeah.
Who was helping out, and we had one crew member. She was so sweet, and I reached out to her to see if she could do the part, and she was like, I don't think I can make the time. But she, during the production, was like, hey, if this actress doesn't show up, I brought clothes, and I will
Yeah,
go
I
on
remember
stage.
that.
a fellow
You have a
theater major.
teleprompter, I'll go on stage and I'll do it. And it was just so sweet.
Wasn't
Like,
she willing to like not even bring like to use the script? She would just use the teleprompter.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. She was like ready
She
to
was
like,
down.
Yeah, she was
She
down
was a
bad
down
for us.
girl.
and let me, like, if she had the time, I would have brought her on from the beginning. Like,
did.
so many people, and I'm so grateful. Like, the team that I had, excluding that one person, like, was truly so great. And it was hard co-directing, because sometimes visions would clash.
Right.
And there was some conversations that I would have with my co-director, being like, because he wanted to add certain things, and I'm like, that's not this show. And then
I would say you were the director, and they were maybe the creative director.
sure, you could say that.
You know, I feel like they took a lot of like the artistic and the techie,
The little
little
detailed nuances.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I haven't said that in a really long time,
Yeah.
but-
No, I know exactly what you mean, because
and I don't mean that in a bad way.
no, I don't either. I love the vision and I love the enthusiasm, but I also had to be like, remember, this is a play, not a movie. And like, I know what you're I know what you're trying to do. Like, I know it, like, I see your vision, but like, it doesn't always work for this kind of play. Like, there was a lot of music added. There was a whole extra, which we could really get in trouble for. Like, there was an extended fight sequence added, which actually I thought was kind of fun in the end. Like, once we got it, it was hard to get there, and I'm sure you guys were miserable.
Yeah.
But and that is the one time that I sacrificed my director hat, and I literally said, here you go, guys, enjoy dealing with that. Because I'm on the ground for most of it. I was like, here you go.
Oh my gosh, I had to jump on someone's back. Do you know how scary that was?
You did a great job, which that was called for in the script. So
Right.
I'm glad that
so
you
scary.
Clothes and dresses are close to impossible.
Don't want to do it again.
Never want to do that again.
Probably
I was
will
like,
though.
Well,
It's fine.
we had to also rip a dress apart for Sheridan, which
oh my god.
really was so cheesy how we ended up doing it. But I was like,
sorry.
no,
tried
it
my
it
best.
worked.
It worked. It was. I thought it was great. I think the overall effect of it was great. I think it seemed maybe cheesy to us because
We
knew
knew
what
it.
it was supposed to look like on
Right.
a Broadway level scale with a Broadway budget, but we didn't have the budget. So
I was
we did what we could.
Stretching
I thought it was great.
$3,000.
Can we talk about how great my ass looked in that dress, though?
Your ass did look really good in
Oh my
that
god,
dress.
that's
It did.
right. Like the
Man, I
Looked
see
great.
pictures of me laying on that couch. I said, "Whoa, she dumpy back there."
I will say, I think the spirit too of the show, of the first Boeing definitely transferred at least to some levels in this
Yeah.
new one. And I'm so glad that closing night got recorded, and hearing the reactions and like that things are getting laughs makes me so happy, because I'm
So
like,
many people came back so many times.
I know.
It made
That
me
was
so
cool.
happy.
Elijah, I love you, babe. He came, he saw the show I think 3 times, because he went to Invited Dress, he went to opening, and he recorded Friday night.
Didn't the person I was with, didn't they come every show?
Almost every show.
Were they gone the same
think-
night that Elijah was not there?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he was there, 3 nights also.
It
Your
was so
boyfriend
sweet.
came.
He came twice.
Yeah.
I wanna
Really?
say.
Oh,
He
that's
said he
so
would have
sweet.
came to all 3 of the shows, but he just had work. on one of the nights.
It was so sweet. And it was also a free performance. I couldn't make any money off of this.
Yeah.
And-
Unfortunately, we wanted to.
It
My
was just because it was
mom-
the alumni event, right?
Yeah,
That's
why.
My mom wanted. She's like, "Is there any way we can like donate money?" And
Yeah,
we couldn't.
sweet.
Like, there was no way.
So many like technical, legal things that like kept us from being able to, because like it was like a student, like alumni thing, because they basically gave us the space for free.
Right.
Whoa.
That's my fault. I totally kicked the table. I'm sorry.
Are we allowed to talk about the aftermath of that production? Of like, the aftermath as far as like it was kind of controversial.
Yeah, enlighten me. Yeah.
What was controversial?
I mean, because Jacob did the whole show with not a lot of help from
From this. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
From the school?
from the school.
And first of all, the help I did have was greatly appreciated from Matt Novotny, Chad Huggins. Really, they're like the school's residential people who have to help, and
Representatives.
I'm so glad to have had them help and assist on the team. Eliza even assisted
Eliza,
with
that's
the
right,
sound.
She loves sound design. That's her bread and butter.
Yeah, everyone who helped and paid part to the production.
You know who you
My
are.
uncle Nick helped with the carpentry. Like, thank you to all of you. All of you were fantastic. This is not about you guys at all. Like,
No.
but yes, I felt that this production was very largely ignored by the
Yes.
staff and our teachers and the people like who, quote unquote, supported us throughout college,
Well, our college
because
career.
none of them came.
Once again, it's continuing the trend of the first.
Of Boeing. They didn't come to that one either.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Me.
true.
That's true.
That's true.
And part of I will take part of the blame, because my co-director was also in charge of advertising, but he had a lot of hats on as well. I should have found someone else to delegate that task to, because our audience should have been bigger. You guys should have had more people to perform to, and I apologize again for that.
That's fine.
But the people who did come genuinely, I think, loved it and had
Yeah,
a
they
great
did.
time, and that makes me happy. But broke my heart to like know that like these professors that like I'd taken multiple classes with had been in their shows, saw shows for them, saw shows outside of the school that they were in, paid money, and they
Right.
couldn't come to see it.
But one of them
disappointing.
did watch it.
One of them did watch
He
it.
did.
He finally,
super nice.
I think he was in a show of his own, or he had
Yeah.
something else going on. He reached out and watched it, and I'm so grateful for that. That was very, very kind. I sent them the link. But not even did they not come and see it, no one said anything other than Jason, who was our previous director. No one
It was like break legs.
Yeah.
there was not a single like break a leg, congratulations to the cast, or good luck to the cast. Like no one said that.
No.
And it was hurtful, honestly. Like it felt like we were like the problem. Like we were just like
or
this
we
little
were, like a nuisance.
to the school and to the faculty. Like they didn't want to deal with us.
Yeah.
And I get it if like their reasoning for not wanting to see it was it's not their kind of show. I hate that excuse because do you know how many shows that weren't my kind of show that I saw for you, that saw you
Right.
in?
Facts.
Like shows that you love that are not my cup of tea, but I sat there and I paid money to watch you several times.
We had to pay some
So
books.
that we could graduate.
So we could
Literally to write a
graduate,
review.
but also because the point is to support one another
Right.
in this growing theater community that we all wanted, and it wasn't given. And
know.
I talked about it on a Facebook post. I got very candid about
That's
it,
Great.
and I was not mean. I would say I was
No.
just very straightforward.
It was
And
very beautifully written. My mom even commented.
your mom reposted it too.
She shared it?
Yeah,
What a
she
sweet
shared it.
angel. We love her.
She and my mom Jacob was very well spoken in his. He was very eloquent, and my mom was not that she wasn't well spoken, but she was just a little less. She didn't hold back.
She was
Wasn't
more
she
straight
like,
to the point.
How would you not
She
support
said,
these lovely?
"How dare you?"
I was living for it. It was great.
What's that? How dare you? We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
That was
She had a moment.
I loved it. It was great. It was greatly appreciated. Your mom is incredible.
She's the
Um,
best.
But yeah, that was kind of the aftermath.
Did any faculty comment on that?
No,
they liked it.
they did like it. I got likes from the person who ended up watching it later, and
Another
our department, or at the time the department head had liked it, and it made me wonder. I was like, did you read the post, or did you just see the picture and like it,
and just like it, yeah.
or did you not read the whole post? Because I broke
Didn't
it up
hit
in
see more.
paragraphs. So I don't know. Who's to say?
Who's to say?
But overall, it was a fantastic show.
Well, thank you.
Jacob killed it. He was met with a lot of unforeseen circumstances and a lot of obstacles, which he handled with grace and pushed forward. He was a fearless leader and led us to many victories.
Yeah. If you want to see it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just kidding.
Well, if
It's
you
on
want to see
YouTube.
it, let me know.
Is it on YouTube?
It's not on
The
YouTube, but I do
podcast.
have the links to it but yeah. Also, a special thank you again to Jason, who was a wonderful. I credited him as assistant director and
Jason Eberwein.
creative consultant. Victoria Hua, incredible stage manager. Because we couldn't have Allie back for that one, and she was so good, really stepped up to it, was so on top of everything.
She really was
so great to collaborate and work with. I love her so much. Victoria, if you ever want to come on the podcast, let us know.
Come on.
That would be a great episode.
She has a podcast.
She has her own podcast. Yeah.
With her girlfriend.
So go listen to Noises On. Shout out Noises
Yes.
On podcast.
Please. Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's the one who we
I'm so
asked, like,
behind.
what do we do?
Really? Oh my god, I didn't know that. Okay,
Like
that's so cool. I need to listen to that.
Yeah, she's incredible.
She's great. Love her.
Also shout out, my assistant director. I love you, man. I really do. I'm sorry for razzing on you a little bit.
He needs to be on this podcast. It needs to happen.
But we'll see if he
He's
ever
my boy.
talks to us again. It's like, I get it. We're all busy. I don't text anyone either. So, but
But when you don't hear from him, he truly disappears.
he's gone.
He's got some other things he's working on. I see him on Instagram sometimes.
Oh, does he? I barely
Yeah, I
go on
just
Instagram.
posted something the other day. I said,
I'm gonna have to check that
that's where
out.
you've been. That's okay.
Good one.
Anyways, we're at an hour 32.
Yeah, let's keep talking. Oh, yeah, we can wrap it up.
Good enough.
The point of the story is, Boeing, Don't Dress for Dinner were wonderful comedies that were
Yes.
very hard to tackle for many reasons, but we did it.
I think it helped us grow.
It helped us grow a lot.
Made me feel really funny.
Miss those cast members. Miss all the wonderful. Miss most of the cast members.
Miss most of them.
Miss most of them.
Oh,
Some of our friends back in England, because they were
Brits.
exchange students.
Our
Our
Britties.
British friends.
Maybe don't.
Our Britties. Well, we also,
Our
guys.
Brita filters.
I just said that.
Because we were trying to figure out what to call you guys, and we know it sounds like herpes, but we just think calling you guys the Harpies is the best name for you guys. And I know it's so cringe, but what else are we gonna call you? What else are we gonna call you? The Harpoons, the Harpies. Tori, you're a listener. What do we call you guys?
I don't know. I don't really like harpies.
Yeah, I don't either. What else?
All right. Welcome back, harpies. Harpies.
Hey, Harpies.
If you say it really fast.
Oh, what did you say the other day? Call them the Harpers.
The Harpers.
Harpers is cute.
It's a girl's name. I picked my nose.
Who cares?
I think that's.
Hey,
better
Harper.
than
Hey, Harpers. The Harpers.
We're
Harps.
gonna have a hotline for our Harpers with the Harper hotline. Call in on your questions. I had someone, one of our friends from high school, messaged me this morning and was like, "I want you to know I'm an avid listener, and every time you ask questions of your listeners, I'll be in my car and I'll answer out loud." And then I'm like, "They can't hear me." So thank you, Mama. Yeah.
Leave your comments, your questions. If you want to be on the podcast, let us
I also
know.
said that they
Answer
should be
from
on
your
it.
car. Answer proudly.
But also message us too. Never hurts.
They want to be on, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll get a Zoom going.
I'm down to figure out how to do a Zoom podcast.
There's someone else in Florida that wants to do that as well.
Yeah.
Very quick. I don't know if either of you have watched Wednesday on Netflix yet.
I have.
Okay, I have to tell you guys this because I was so proud of my boyfriend. So we were watching, and you know the scene where the blood rains down, or the blood. It's like paint, I guess. It's but it's colored red. We're sitting there watching it, and I'm like, wow, lots of great film references. I get very into shows. I was taking notes, And my boyfriend goes, "Oh yeah, and this is a reference to Carrie."
That's so hot.
Excuse me. I was like, wow. I was like,
Hide your
I
boyfriend.
was like, you know what Carrie is? He's like, yeah. What? Like it's hard? That was him. He was like, yeah. And I was like, baby.
Is it because?
Good job.
But does he know Carrie because of the musical or because of the movies?
The movie, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
It's fine.
not the
It's
musical,
fine.
But I was still proud. I was like, that's a very obscure
Reference, yeah,
for
and he got
somebody
it.
That's not very like in tune with.
Good
like,
job,
bigger stuff.
Tim.
Good job, Tim.
Tim, please
I'm
come
so
on the
proud of you.
podcast. We're just gonna have you.
Just have him here. Have me sit over there. in the corner.
Tori's gonna be in the
Turn
corner.
around.
She'll be directing.
Back.
She'll be like,
towards-
speak up, speak up.
Say with your chest. Anyways, okay, we have really overstayed our welcome in your earbuds.
Have we though? The people love us.
Earbuds.
But thank
Oh,
you guys
man.
for listening.
Thank you so much. What should we
Thank
call
you,
this episode?
Sheridan and Jacob, for having me.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Tori. Thank you for coming back. What's it like?
It feels great. It feels like home.
And Tori, hopefully your microphone will be on this time. No, I'm talking because last time your mic didn't. We had problems with your mic.
Don't scare me like that.
Um, But yeah,
Any whoozlebees.
thank you for coming back, Tori. Please come back again soon.
Please.
Have
Anytime.
me anytime.
You want to just be
Yeah,
our
you
I
third
want to
host?
come back now.
I'd like to sit here forever.
I will be back episode 13.
Oh.
Because we know. Episode 12.
There we go.
That's the next
I
episode.
was like, oh,
okay.
she wants a week off.
I was like, perfect.
She wants to be on the new. She wants to be on the New Year's episode.
Oh.
I have an idea that I want to tell you about this. But tell you about afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, I think your sister will be next, right?
Yeah,
sister will be
my
next on the-
sister's
So
coming into
fun.
town next Friday.
So-
Hey, do you want to go out with us? We're gonna go out on the town.
When?
When my sister comes to town, I said, "Want to go out?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And
love
Jacob
to.
said, "Yeah,
I'm gonna come too.
Wait.
I told Elijah he has to stay at home.
yeah,
Yeah.
just for the girlies."
Yeah, I was like, just a girl's night,
You,
you know?
me,
Stop,
you, me,
stop, okay.
Caitlin, and Jacob.
Okay, we gotta go, guys.
We gotta go.
This right now.
Have a good night, everybody. We love you all.
Ta-ta for now. See you later.
Bye.